So thank you, Michelle, for joining us today and doing a little bit of a example on how this new process works. As I said, it doesn't have a name yet, so it's very new, but I just wanted to show everyone out there, number one, just how easy this is, and they can also start to do it for themselves, but just also to show you how it works as well.
I'm excited.
Very, very cool.
Amazing processes that you download. And they're ever evolving, which is why I love you so much.
I can't take all the credit, but anyway, it all started with me getting a message that the body is amazing and has an amazing wisdom, and that it is the way that it processes illnesses.
Yes.
You know, like, or if you cut your finger and it naturally heals. I've been shown that does that with everything else that's going on in our life too, and particular depression, anxiety, emotions, things like that. So I then practiced on myself and then practiced on lots of clients, and it is actually true. Our body does process these things. It's just us holding on to them in certain areas in our body, which makes us sick.
Yes.
It's very, very, very logical, but to see it work and to feel it work is actually really cool.
Yeah. Questions that, do they? When you no one questions the healing of a cut finger or a broken leg. No, everyone just knows it's not magic. It just happens. But anything else, it's, we do question, oh no, we can't, heal my own body. How can I possibly do that? I need medicine and drugs and. Especially the more I go down this path, is that this body has such wisdom that if we can just even use 1/10 of the wisdom that it has, we will be able to do amazing things. So, and I'm looking forward to, again, being guided on this journey as to just how much it can show us and what it can do. So, as you said, no one's questions how that happens. But yeah, it does. So it's like, let's see what else it can do. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm very passionate about this. Yeah. So
I can tell.
So you did. So you did say that. Well, you tell me your story around depression and anxiety and where you're at with that.
Okay. So it's something that I have struggled with probably since my second was born, so about 9 years ago. Okay. So I got postnatal depression, but what we found out was that it was caused by Hashimoto's, which is hypothyroidism. So it's an autoimmune disease that attacks the thyroid. So I've got lots of the antibodies and stuff like that. So when I was off the charts, I sort of did the test a couple of times because it was crazy. And so it was a long road to getting those meds working. But consequently, I got very badly depressed. And it's sort of been an on and off thing ever since. And it did hit me again quite hard after the birth of my fourth. My husband left me when she was, so my youngest was only 10 months old, and I had, my eldest was 9, so, and 2 in between. So that was really horrific. So I'm back on medication again, but what I find is that the medication does work initially, and I go, I'm feeling better, I'm feeling more like myself, and then I call it poop out. It just starts to poop out. It doesn't work anymore, and I can feel it not working. And at the moment, I currently have another antidepressant that my doctor added on to the one that I'm already on. That's supposed to sort of they work synergistic. I can't say that word together.
Yeah.
So that, I think it did help.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, made me gain a lot of weight. It's renowned for putting weight on. So I put on like 12 kilos, which I'm not a very big person. So that for me is huge, which I absolutely hate. So I just don't like the fact that I have to choose between my weight and mental health. Like, I just think it's horrible, and I'm feeling like that's not really even working anymore. And it's hard for me to even talk about, because on the outside I don't seem like a depressed person at all. I'm bright and bubbly, and I talk a lot, and you know, I'm empathetic and I care for other people. I'm always worried about other people's things. So if, you know, I'll say to someone, yeah, I'm actually really depressed. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, even my husband, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like talking about it. He doesn't like the fact that I'm medicated. So that's really difficult for me as well. And at the end of the day, I don't want to be on the medication.
Okay.
I really, really would like to. I just think it's like a Band-Aid. And as you said, you know, your body heals itself anyway. I think it can heal without the Band-Aid. And I just
or
feel,
even the Band-Aid's good for a little bit, like like you don't keep the Band-Aid on forever.
Yes.
Like eventually allowing the body to do its job.
And I think the fact that these drugs just keep pooping out on me is, I don't know, I think it's my body's way of saying you don't need them. You just don't need them. But I'm terrified to not be on them.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be the best version of myself for my girls. That's the most important thing. And I think a lot of my triggers is what you say about, you know, not following who you really are, not being who you really are, creates depression. That just rings true for me in the biggest way.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
And when I look back to times when I wasn't depressed, it was because I was going, I don't care what everyone says I have to do. I just want to have fun and I'm going to do it. And everything just seemed to fall into place. And I never had a care in the world. But all of a sudden, you've got to grow up now. You know, you need to get a good job. You know, you need to be responsible. You need to do this. You need to. And all of a sudden, I find myself in this, you know, this cage.
Yeah.
And I feel very trapped.
Can I just say, firstly, thank you so much for sharing that with me and whoever else watches this, because it is hard to share.
It is, but I think it's important to talk about it too. And if it helps anybody, then I'm more than happy to share my story.
Thank you. I just want to thank you so much for sharing that. But also, especially like the message that we want to get out there too is if anyone is on medication, not to stop the medication because it does need to be regulated by the doctor. And I've not yet known a doctor who's someone who has seen that someone has started to feel, you know, better and asked for a reduction in medication. I've never heard of a doctor saying no. So they will start to play around with the levels of the medication and things like that while you do this other work. So it's, as I said, I think it's great for the Band-Aid to just rise above whatever's going on chemically inside, but let's use the other chemicals that are going on inside to process what's really going on. So, and, you know, a lot of what you've talked about is, yes, you know, the reality isn't how you want it, but what we want to do is we want to be able to still process that even though the reality isn't how I want it, I still feel okay.
Yeah.
And that I still have hope that, you know, things will be able to get through. And also I find using this process that we'll be doing today is it gives you clarity as to what you can do, not what you can't do.
Yes. And that's what depression is. It's a feeling of hopelessness.
Yeah.
It is. It's a feeling of hopelessness. It's a feeling of, I have to get up and do this all again. And I want it to be nighttime so I can just go back to sleep. So I can dream. I love dreaming. I have awesome dreams generally. And I'm like, I just want to go back to that reality because, you know, this reality is hard. This is so.
What if I said you can have both? You can have both. So let's get into this. Now, usually when I'm working with someone doing this, I do a stress test to see exactly where our body is getting stressed in certain situations. And for you, I'll just use one thing that could easily bring up either a depression or anxiety to then show you and others how this works. Okay. So in your whole day-to-day going on, what is something that you would say is the most stressful thing that happens?
Okay. I can answer that because I know it's my number one trigger, and it's feeling like, oh God, I want to cry even just thinking about it. It's crazy. I feel like I'm a failure to my children. I feel like I'm sorry.
Just take a deep breath. No, it's actually good because we want it to be, it sounds horrible that it feels good. That's good that you cry, but it needs to come up, and you can feel automatically that you go to push it down.
I absolutely. And I know this is how I know that I'm not good at the moment, because I can't even think about it. Even just seeing pictures of my kids, I look at them and I just go, oh, you poor kids. You poor kids. You deserve so much better. And I know I'm a smart woman. I know that this is not true. I know I'm a good mum. Yeah. I give my kids everything, and the very fact that I'm worried about it says something for me. But still, I just look at them and I'm like, oh God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I'm not better. You deserve the very, very, very best. They're the most precious things in my whole world. That's my trigger. And I can't even look at my kids. I can't look at the photos of my children without feeling incredible sadness.
Okay. So sadness would be what it is that you're feeling.
Yep.
Whereabouts in your body can you feel the sadness?
That's a hard one.
Is it everywhere?
No, it's actually not. It hits me here and in my stomach, and it actually feels like I liken it to kind of when you go down a hill really fast, that kind of feeling, but it's different. It's like a burning kind of feeling. It just comes, it rises up, and and that's when I guess you got to push it down. But it almost makes me feel sick, like my stomach. I'm like, oh my God, I'm such a terrible mum.
Okay, what I'm going to get you to do, because it's here, it's coming up for us, so which is great. Yep. I'm going to get you just to sit back and close your eyes. And I want you to go into that sadness and then just allow it to spread through your body. Don't keep it in the middle there. Allow it just to spread out through your chest, through your back, through your stomach, and allow it just to spread out right through your body. And as it's spreading out right through your body, I love the breathing. The breathing is a great way to allow it to spread through. So allow all that sadness. Can you feel how you already feel a lot better? Yeah. Let it just spread. Let the body take it on. Spread it right through your body, and don't be fearful of letting it go to all these areas, because now what's going to happen is all the cells and all the antibodies and everything else is just going to process it for you. All you need to do is breathe and just watch it spread out through your body. And just watch it spread out. And just watch it just keep spreading out. Now, you've got a lot of sadness in there, so you're going to see more and more come out. But then as more and more comes out, just let it keep going through and let it spread right through your body. And just breathe through it. Just let it spread out. And keep letting it come up. There's more and more that's still coming up. So as you take a breath in, I want you to bring more out. And then as you breathe out, it's spreading through the body. And then breathe in and pull more out from the middle. And then as you breathe out, spread it through your body. And just watch it just slowly go right through your body. As it's going through your body, what do you feel like it's doing?
I feel a lot of resistance. Like I feel like it wants to just stay balled up, and it's actually, as much as I'm trying to, I can feel it. I feel it coming down my arms.
Yeah. And
into my legs and my knees.
Mm-hmm.
But then I feel it kind of almost just go.
Okay, so let it come out your hands and let it come out your feet. Just let it come out. And let the body just process it. So you're going to get all these beautiful, healthy cells come in, and it's just spreading it out for you and then dissipating it. And then you've got all the antibodies coming in and doing its job as well, eating away anything that doesn't really need to be there. And this is a very natural process. It's just that it hasn't done this before, and that's what the resistance is. Anything that is new is scary. But just know that your body knows, your body knows how to do this, funnily enough. Trust your body and just go, thank you, body. Thank you for processing it. You don't need to actually do anything other than just let it do its job and just let it escape from where it is. Keep breathing through. So when you breathe out, it just naturally dissipates. When you breathe in, you're pulling out more. And then it's dissipating, just going right through your body. And then just out your hands and your feet. It's just flowing out. It's just a nice flow that goes on. Is it doing that yet?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, just allow. I want you to really relax all the insides of your body and just let it just keep coming out and then out. And then pull some more out. Well, that beautiful sadness is just going to be going right through your body. Your body knows what to do. Can you feel now that you're coming to the end of pulling it out and it's starting to feel a lot better in there? Still got a little bit more. Now I feel there's a little bit of resistance. It's wanting to hold on to the last little bit. But just go, no, the body knows what to do. We're okay without this. It's okay. Okay, can you feel it's okay now? Let it go. Just let it go. It's all good. Now I'm just going to let your body know that the sadness was there because you thought you were a bad mum, but you know that you're not a bad mum. You know you're not a failure. And the body is always here to support you in bringing up these children in whatever way happens. You trust their journey, you trust your own journey. And all this sadness is just there because it's just been stuffed away, that's all. It doesn't really need to exist here anymore. So just keep letting, there's still some more to come out, as I've kind of said that.
I feel tingly.
Yeah.
My hands, my knees, my feet feels tingly.
And what do you imagine your body's doing if you could kind of see what it's doing with the sadness going through your body?
I feel it kind of feels like in my mind, like as I'm breathing it up, it feels like a darker, like a storm, like a dust storm.
Yeah.
That's coming up, and then as it's spreading through my body, I'm allowing it to spread through my body. It feels, I see in my mind's eye like a sort of like a glittery gold lime, just like sort of like a lava just oozing out all through my body, sort of clearing it, cleansing it, getting into every nook and cranny and just gently taking it away and filling all my cells up with that beautiful energy.
Just let it bring up this last little bit. I mean, there is resistance because it's been there. Yeah, it's been there for a reason. And again, I know we have to trust that it's there for a reason. Like it was, you know what, the sadness was there as a coping mechanism to even make sure you were a good mum. I was even telling my daughter the other day that we do have this inbuilt alarm system that when a baby cries, we react so then we don't let these children starve. This is your body's natural processes.
Yes.
It's just that you made it bad if you didn't feed them when you think that they were meant to be fed. Or
I've actually I have been at the point the last month or so that at work I hear a baby crying or having a meltdown, and I just like that feeling comes up straight away again, and I can't.
This is what this is. This is what this all is. It's very natural. It's a very natural chemical process that when a baby cries or children need you, that your fight or flight does kick in.
Yes.
But there's no meaning in that.
When I'm good, when I feel balanced and not in that depressive state, I can feel that, but it doesn't stick. It just, I'm okay.
It's okay. There was just a meaning placed on it that maybe I'm not doing it right or looking at others or whatever. But that's okay, because can you feel that when you're really in your body and you're just breathing through and letting it process, there's no thinking at all?
Yeah. Yes, that is 100% true.
You're in your body. So I want you to just feel in there. You can feel it's still a little bit tense.
Yeah.
So I want you just to allow that gold glitter to just drop on there and just let it just to sit on there. It's just natural. It's just there to help. It's there to process it. It's just how your body works. It's just there to just process the sadness. Sadness is allowed to be there, but it doesn't need to stay there. It just needs to be processed by the body once it comes up.
And I do resist it. I know that I resist it straight away. When I feel that feeling, I swallow it down.
Yeah.
And I don't, because I don't want to feel it. It feels horrible. So I don't want to feel it.
But can you see when you allow it, it doesn't feel that bad?
It actually doesn't feel bad at all. It felt actually quite lovely.
It's really beautiful.
Here, letting it free and letting it flow through my body felt so natural and so relaxing, really nice, and those little tingles, and it felt really lovely. Holding on to it feels horrible.
Isn't it amazing that we just don't do this? Like, this feels like it's actually a really beautiful process. It's such a really beautiful thing to do, is just to let your body do its job.
Yes.
And then what's happening is that you're giving it trust. You're trusting it's doing its job. You can feel, even though there's sadness there's actually a lot of love.
Yeah. Yes. At the end of the day.
Well, it's in there and it's flowing and it's just gorgeous. So you can still feel there's a little bit of heaviness in the middle there, but it's not an emotion. It's just an old heaviness. So I'm going to get you, because this is how wise your body is, I want you to go there and tell me what your body wants to do with this.
It wants to hold it there. It's telling me it wants to just have that little bit there. Straight, that was the first thing that came to my head. It's like, it's okay. That little bit's okay. Just be okay with having that little bit there.
Yep. And are you okay with that?
I am, I think. I guess it's always there to a degree. And I mean, even that feeling, it all comes from love. I feel that hugely deep emotion of not being good enough mum. It comes from love. It comes from this.
What is this telling you then? Okay, this is telling you that this isn't sadness. This is love.
It's ferocious love. Ferocious love.
So it's actually okay to be there because it's love.
It is. It's an intense, intense love.
But the thing is that what lived there before was sadness, which is bad. What's living there now is intense love, which is good.
Yeah, protectiveness and all those, instinctual mummy feelings that you have.
And can you feel that your body just wants to be the example of that now?
Yes, I feel a lot better actually. I can actually talk about that now, like talk about my kids and feeling like a failure, and I'm not crying, which is really awesome.
Does it seem like it's just like a bit of a story?
Yeah, it actually kind of does. That's pretty insane actually, Kim. Wow. And I'm actually trying to bring up that feeling, like it just, because I don't know why, because your mind just is, it's like, well, where is it? And it's like the love's still there, that huge love, that protectiveness, but that sadness, is gone. You're clever.
Not me, but anyway. What I'll get you to do is just to check in with anything that comes up, and you just do, and this is where I can't really say this is how you do it because everyone's different, everyone's body's kind of different. And as you could see, like for some people, leaving that in there wouldn't feel good. But so there's no rhyme or reason as to how to do this. You just need to use your body as the guide.
Yeah.
Your
Yes.
body knows, and like starting to just be really grateful for its wisdom, but listening to it and acting on. And the other thing I'll just share with you too is that I'm just doing a burp for you. That's okay. The other thing that that I've found doing this process is you can't allow your body to process it and be doing something else. You do actually have to stop.
Yeah. Yes.
I've even tried walking on the beach and processing. It just can't do two things at once.
No.
So it really does have to be focused on processing.
Yes.
But what you'll find now, if you can practice it, is
Bin man's about to come right past my window.
is just I can't hear it, so that's fine. I want you to now be aware of your feelings and get excited when they come up. So that when sadness, when annoyance, anger, I want you then to just go, okay, stop. You can just be standing there. Okay, body, process it. You can do it driving. That's one thing you can do because you're not physically doing something. But even watching kids sport's a great way to just sit and go, okay, how's my body feeling? It doesn't need to process something. Yeah. And you'll actually find that, especially the deeper you go within and the more connected with your body, you'll actually find you are feeling every second of every day. And even if you think about it, okay, the garbage, let me just give you an example. The garbage man's there's a feeling that brings.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I've got to go to work. There's a feeling. I've got to do the dishes. There's a feeling. There's a feeling associated with everything.
Yes.
And it's actually the feeling that's this is a feeling universe.
Yeah.
So I've actually used this a lot with money and things like that. If you want to play around with how you feel about money and let it go through your body.
A big one for me, and I can't crack that baby.
Try it. Maybe we can do that on our next example.
Yes, let's do that.
Anything, because anything you have an emotion around creates the reality.
Yeah.
And this is how you can live.
Yeah.
However you want to live and still feel good about it. So.
Because feelings are amazing, though. They
are amazing. And I'll just share a little bit of insight. The way that this all came about is because I have chats with the universe all the time to try and work out why things happen. And I still couldn't understand the whole process of why aliens abduct humans.
Oh, wow. That's fascinating. Yeah, fascinating. That used to terrify me as a child. Terrify me. I used to lose sleep over this. Aliens coming and abducting me.
Maybe because it was true.
No, I'm not even kidding. I used to be absolutely terrified.
I've actually dealt with a few people who have been abducted. Yeah, and I'm not making up, and I'm not the only one who can see that this is actually happening.
100% know that they're.
But you know what I was told? I was told that we are the only. This incarnation on this planet is the only incarnation where feelings and emotions exist.
Is that right?
And no one can work it out. We can't even work it out, and we live here.
The point of it is like.
Where do they come from? What do they like? We don't really know anything about them. And that's really what these intelligent beings want to know is where do these feelings come from? How do they?
Yeah. The feelings almost create our reality, don't they? Because there's the
to be honest, like, okay, so one thing can happen. Now, you could go, that's sad, and it will be sad. Oh, that's actually really awesome, so it will be awesome. The feeling is everything, and this is why I'm really passionate about this.
Yes. Well, I'm 100% on board because I'm one of the biggest feelers ever. I've been told.
Well, I'm giving you permission. I'm giving you permission now to feel.
Yeah. As I've gotten older, I've kind of just gone, you know what? It's not a curse. It's actually a gift, and I don't care what you all say. It's okay to feel.
Yeah, it is. And well, as we can see, there's that wisdom. So the more you do it, what will happen is that once your body processes it, you'll get a clarity around. So say, for example, once you've processed the sadness, you'll get a clarity around, I'm not a failure, and my body's just got love in it.
And it does feel like a story. It's like my brain can't even, it's like, why would I think that? That feeling isn't even coming up anymore. It's not. That's absolutely incredible. I actually feel a little bit shaky Like,
well, your body goes into a little bit of shock.
weird. I'm like, got the trembles, and I'm like, oh gosh, what's going on there? But
still processing. It's just still processing.
Kind of like a computer, right? You got to check for downloads or updates or what needs to be processed, you know.
It just, your body knows how to do it. So, and definitely, I've had, you know, people who have done this before who have gone into an element of shock. In most cases, I take it on, so my whole body shakes.
Oh gosh.
While and I'm fine with it because I know. And as soon as I go into something else, it just stops instantly. So there's still more to know when that happens. So it's all good. But just sit with yourself and just feel the emotions, let them come up, and you'll be aware now that like, and you'll feel yourself as soon as you hold on to it, it'll feel icky, and then you go, hang on a sec, I don't need to do that anymore.
Can I ask you a question? Mm-hmm. During that process, did you help me? Did you help my body? Because I feel
I know what's going on.
Yeah, because I feel like I've tried to do like stuff we've talked about before. So, you know, talking to your emotions, saying hello, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it just won't work for me. I'm like, I'm doing all the things, but I'm like, it's not going, it's not leaving. But what we just did was super powerful. I feel completely different. So I'm like, did you get in here somehow and have a little talk to me? Because I feel so different. I feel so much lighter.
I mean, we're all connected. And a lot of people do say that they get different results working directly with me than doing it on their own. But I am mainly teaching it from a place of sustaining it in between sessions and all that sort of thing. So
you talk to the person's body, or
no, I can see what's happening. So I can feel it.
Do you see?
I saw the glitter. I saw all. Oh yeah, I can see.
Before I said that I could. That's how I was feel like
That's why I wanted you to tell me.
Oh my God. No way, that's amazing.
I can see everything. That's how come I can know that you've still got this thing in there, because I have this thing here. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can see it. Because that's what helps me to know how to guide your body.
Okay. That makes sense.
So I'll tell you a little bit of an example too, is that when I've tried to force for myself or for anyone else, tried to force the energy out, it doesn't work.
Okay.
You really have to let go and go, body, I trust you know what to do.
Yeah. And
it knows.
So what was the purpose of I mean, it's probably an impossible question to answer, but what was the purpose of me? We
are moving into a new generation, new era, new energy. Where living in the now is really where we're moving ahead, and anything that exists within us from the past is actually coming up now for us. Now, we would usually go into, I need to heal something from the past or whatever, but in actual fact, the past is just a memory and it's not happening right now. So this is, again, the wisdom of the body. The body knows it doesn't need to hang on to it, which is probably why everyone's depressed. It's like, I don't need this now. It's not happening now.
Epidemic levels. And I think anyone that says that they're not.
Oh, no, they definitely are.
Not actually just feeling the feelings. They're not allowing themselves to feel.
I would like for you to share, with me and, and I think maybe like we'll work on something else next week, and we'll awesome. Film it and everything else, do a bit of a series on you. And you can share, as you've gone along, the differences. Now, the main thing is that there's no thinking in this. It's all feeling based. Yep. So as soon as you go into thinking, you've gone into your head, you just go back and live in your body. Just live in your body. I always say you can use your mind just to receive what you need to know, which is actually the thing that works. And you just keep that flow going on. But it is tricky because you've been doing this for how many years, the old way. So this is why it's good to do it ongoing, to just get those reminders and things like that. So
I have just, sorry, really quickly. I had a bit of a, how I say to you, I can't work out when it's the universe talking to me or if it's just my ego, like my head. And I had this realization because it's happened a few times, and I've gone, I was telling myself that, or the universe was telling me that. It's a very different feeling. So it's not when you know, myself, my soul, or the universe is talking to me, it's very quiet. It doesn't have meaning. It doesn't have a bad feeling or a good feeling. It's just this little thought that pops into my head. Whereas when it's my ego, it's generally big feeling around it. So it's like oh my God, you shouldn't be doing this. This is a terrible thing, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I think, oh, is that a message, or is that just me? And I could never work out the difference. And I don't know for me, yeah, but I don't know, I need to amp that up. I need to make that.
Well, what you can do is use, because again, there's no pushing or forcing or needing to or have to.
Yeah, okay.
When the ego brings up a feeling, you just let the feeling process, and what happens is that the ego quietens down and the truth comes out. So this is where I found, you know, I used to do a focus mainly on mindset. It's actually really weird now that you've experienced, you know, the sadness around being a failure, whatever else. Your mindset is already changing because it's not true.
Yeah.
So it's actually weird. I always thought that the mind created their feeling, but the feeling actually comes first.
My ears ringing.
Anyway, I'll let you go. I want you just to practice this, and I think maybe next week we can do money.
That sounds awesome.
It'll be really fun.
Money's always fun.
It's
an emotive topic because everyone wants more, and yeah, it's a fun one. I like it.
Just practice this with all your feelings for the next week, and we'll go from there.
You, darling. That was amazing. I feel wonderful.
I'll see you next week.
Sounds good, Kim. Bye, darling.
Bye.